Hey everybody, and welcome back to Dude's Brunch. It's a podcast about pop culture, internet garbage, and black coffee. I'm your host, Taylor Olmstead. With me, it's Tyler Reed. Tyler, what did you have for brunch today?
What up, though, everybody? How's it going? Had another misery Sunday, and I had a blueberry muffin, and I played the New Star Realms expansion with Catherine, and then I had to immediately run to work, in which I then had a 5-way from Skyline with spicy cheese.
Skyline's doing the spicy cheese now.
Yeah, they've been doing it for a while.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, habanero. I like to just take the oyster crackers and take a little bit of cheeses.
That sounds delicious. I'm all about it.
Because there's too much cheese. And so then there's just an appropriate amount of cheese left.
That's where you're wrong. Never too much cheese. Just like there's never too much Sean Evans. Sean, what did you have for brunch today?
Sorry, I'm laughing so hard because this weekend we went and visited Valley Forge in Pennsylvania. It's about a 3-hour drive north. And so we're in the hotel. We come down this morning and it smells like burning. It smells like burning and fart. And I was like, Sarah said like, oh, this is gross. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know what's going on. So they have a breakfast and we're getting breakfast. And I'm watching this man and he's like talking to the woman who's running the breakfast area. And he's like, you really should put the sign in a more obvious place, like, because stuff's going to get stuck in there if you keep doing it like this. And I didn't pay attention. I was just thinking, God, this dude is so stupid. Can't believe that you would put something inside of the toaster and like burn it like that. This is so dumb. It must have been happening all morning. So immediately after I get my eggs and my sausage, I walk over and I'm looking and there's a croissant and I'm like, shit, I want that. I want to get that. So I take it and Sarah's like putting it in there and her and I were in there struggling to figure out how to put it inside the little toaster that has a little belt drive that goes through it like a pizza oven. Right? So I finally get it on there. Sarah's toast comes dropping out and all of a sudden smoke starts pouring out of this thing. And I'm like, oh shit. So I immediately get like some tongs and start fishing around in there and it catches on fire. It is
the tongs?
Smoke is coming out. No, the croissant is on fire inside of this machine. And the woman comes out and she just looks at me like, oh my God. And so we fish it out. I'm so embarrassed. I'm like, I just need to go sit down. I can't look at this poor woman anymore. She's had to do this twice already because of me. So I go over there to get a muffin and there's another person who put a croissant inside the machine and it's on fire.
They really should put up a sign.
And I was just, and Sarah and I, they should take away the croissants because we're just so stupid. We're all so dumb. And that's what I was cracking up about because I was just thinking like, it just happened to like so many people. And the woman, like, she looks at me and points at the sign, but the sign is like on the side wall. It's not like on the machine or where you can see it. It's just like on the side of the wall. And it says like, make sure if you put it in there to like smash it, to crush it down a little bit. And I was like, But yes, no, it was on fire. Like, it was literally flaming. And I'm like, in this little toaster, like, pushing it around, trying to pull it out, and it is on fire.
I don't think I can top that. Your brunch literally caught fire. That's intense.
And it sucked. The eggs and sausage were awful, but it was so funny to just think about this being on fire. I was like, I'm glad I wasn't the only one. Because the other lady that pulled the one out after me, she just like face palmed. She was like, oh my God. And
I can't believe I've done this.
I know, like, listen, don't put them out there if you don't want me to put them in the toaster. It doesn't work like that.
Unfortunately, through, this is not a visual medium, but like, I feel like when someone tells you something that's funny, sometimes you don't laugh, but like, you can't help but just like, your face just makes a smile and you can't stop it from doing that. And so that's basically Sean's entire story. I was just like, oh, this little scampy's getting himself in trouble, isn't he?
And because the whole time I kept thinking like, I immediately looked at Sarah when I saw the first dude burn it and I was like, what a dumbass.
Of course.
And then I went and did the same thing.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm your host, Taylor, and for brunch this morning, I had some scrambled eggs and toast. Not a lot to write home about, just your basic average brunch. Definitely not on fire like Sean's. But now it's time to go to one of my favorite segments on the podcast, Taylor and Sean's Craft Beer Corner. This is an impromptu Taylor and Sean's Craft Beer Corner because I pulled a new beer out of the fridge and, oh man, it's delicious. Sean, tonight I have Terrapin Brewing Company's Luau IPA. It's a kind of light IPA with guava and mango. It's very fruity and summery. I'm gonna have to find out if I can get a 6-pack because I've only ever seen it in the Kroger mix and match thing. But if I find a 6-pack, I'll pull some off and mail them up to you because they're awesome.
Guava has an interesting taste to me. It's almost kind of tastes moldy in some ways.
Yeah, I wouldn't want just guava, but the mango has enough sweetness that it kind of balances out that moldy taste.
I had a kombucha tea that was guava, and it kind of still has that, it's like grapes.
Yeah.
How grapes kind of have that moldy taste in a weird way. But also, speaking of tropical fruit, that's not a tropical fruit. This weekend, on my visit to Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, I tried the Evil Genius #ICan'tEven Watermelon Blonde Ale.
Ooh, I like Evil Genius. I haven't had that one.
It's good. It's like, honestly, how I would describe it is like a light beer that tastes like Sour Patch Kid watermelons.
So it's not like a real watermelon flavor. It's more like that artificial watermelon.
Yeah, but it's good in that way. I don't know. It kind of has like a candy taste. It's like a really sweet watermelon shandy.
I was just about to say, I feel like this summer is the summer of shandies. Every craft brewery around here is making some kind of fruit beer or a shandy or something this summer, and I'm into it.
But that was good. If you can find it, highly recommend. They have some other ones that look really good, but I think they had the, that was it. I think they had another one, but I don't remember which one it was. All of it sounds good, though. I'd definitely get another one of their beers if I could find it around here.
Yeah, I feel like I had their IPA somewhere, and it was really good.
Except the Star Wars one. Interesting.
To contribute to the segment in any capacity whatsoever, I'm gonna ask you guys how you feel about this drink. If it sounds appetizing to you at all. So we all, in some ways, can enjoy a smell water for Windows LaCroix. But at work, we have this...
Would you call it a smell water?
So we have a drink where we have bourbon barrel aged cold brew and a concentrate. So you put about a couple ounces of this concentrate in. You squeeze the lemon, throw that in. You put a little bit of simple sugar in there, and then you just fill it up with soda water and ice. Does that sound appetizing at all to you?
It sounds like a coffee soda.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that sounds good.
Have you had that before?
No, but it doesn't sound bad.
Yeah, I've never had anything like that, but I could see on a really hot day, that would be very good.
It's been something that, I feel like we had it as, a special, last summer, and people were always like, is this good? And I was like, I didn't have an appreciation for the fizzy water at the time. And I was like, it's an acquired taste. It's definitely something that you drink and you're like, because it's sweet but it's tart and it's got a lot of flavor in there. I just thought it'd be interesting just to see what you guys thought about that.
Well, in a similar vein, kind of bridging into Tyler's Craft Coffee Corner, I was at a restaurant last night that had a bunch of espresso-based cocktails and iced coffee-based cocktails. And I was thinking, this isn't something I would want all the time, but it's an interesting concept, and I'd be willing to give it a shot. Things like iced coffee and rum, and just sweet, creamy, cocktails with a coffee base. It was interesting.
I want to like stuff like that. I feel like every time something tries to mix things together in a way that we had Grater's beer one time and everyone hated it because it was just it's not gonna taste like literal ice cream, and I feel how much coffee do you feel like it tasted like how was it like?
Well, so I was only reading it on the menu. I didn't get one, but they were
oh, okay,
a shot of iced espresso mixed into the drink or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not a whole cup of coffee. It's they're using espresso essentially as one of the ingredients that they're mixing to make a cocktail.
Oh, sure. I feel like I would be worried about the quality of that espresso if they weren't like doing it right. Did you say it was also like a coffee shop too?
No, it was a restaurant.
Coffee and like bar?
It was
Oh, okay. Well,
it was a Greek restaurant.
Okay, well, the Greeks probably know how to make espresso. I would hope so.
It was good Greek food. I can't speak to the coffee, but food was very good.
There's a new place that opened up that has like coffee and ice cream. So you have like a little bit of espresso and like gelato, which is I haven't been to yet, but I really want to try that out.
So folks, it's time for the annual Dudes Brunch Songs of Summer special. The way this episode works is we are each going to contribute 2 songs that we are going to put up for nomination as D Song of the Summer. And then we may try to pick a winner at the end of the podcast. We may just decide whatever. But either way, there will be links to all of the songs we discuss down in the show notes. Who wants to kick us off with the first pick?
I'll go. Okay, so I'm picking Dream Girl by No Vacation.
Ooh, yes.
Okay, so I don't know much about this band in particular, but how I found them was through an Apple Music recommendation, and then I stopped using Apple Music to turn back to Spotify.
Traitor.
But no, it's all right. I knew what I was looking for, and Spotify gives me it. So, but that said, I really love sonically how this band sounds. They're like a more up-tempo psychedelic shoegaze rock band, and I mean, okay, so I have a Strat, and I love Strats. I love what they sound like. So the more that you can give me a Strat running through a tube amp, and which I just got a tube amp too. I really love
It's the sound of summer. Like, we make fun of it because, like, that guitar through an old-fashioned tube amp sounds like summertime.
Yeah. So, and I don't know, and I probably more than anything else, this song kind of inspired me to go down this road. But that's why I kind of like it. It's catchy. It's soft, but it's also intense. I like that they mix it up well with different drum backbeats sometimes, and they do it's classic. It's classic. It's a driving bass with a rhythm guitar, a lead guitar, and a nice 5-piece drum set, and a few cymbals. You know, like it's the perfect wrap up for what you want to listen to it's good for any time. It's good dancey, you know. What do you think? What do you think?
Oh, Sean. Go ahead, Taylor.
This feels like if the Yugos didn't have as much math rock, which is a reference that only people from the greater Cincinnati area will get. They've got like a shoegazy surf rock sound, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I love, like Sean was saying, like that kind of bright and soft like palette that you get from the shoegaze influence, but that lead guitar is straight out of 60s surf rock, and I'm all about it. Like, that is what summers feel like to me, or what I want summer to feel like. We also were watching a live performance video from an Audio Tree session, and this band looks like a group of like 90s skateboard girls, which just really adds to the aesthetic. My roommate and I went and saw 8th Grade last night, which, oh my god, you guys need to go see 8th Grade. But I feel like this has that same kind of like high school, middle school, like adolescent kind of vibe to it. Very late 90s, early 2000s. Like, it's really fun, but it's also got, like, you can see that there's something under the surface there. Like, they're not just making a dumb rock song. There's some substance to it, and I really like it.
Mm-hmm. What'd you think, Tyler? First reaction.
You guys, you all doubted me. I've called this shot at least a year in advance. I was like, the sort of like, this sort of sound is coming in. It's coming back in full swing.
God.
It's those city pop influences. It's that vaporwave kind of stuff all kind of seeping into the mainstream. But I mean, you're right. It does take those sort of like ideas. It's definitely probably a little more surfy than anything. You're right, but it probably, for me, it's kind of got those vibes too going on. But I mean, I love shoegaze as like a genre. So this was already kind of like a win in my book almost from the beginning. I in the live video I saw a microphone. I was like, all right, well, this is gonna ruin it, because I was ready for just an instrumental experience, but vocals aren't bad, and like about a whole like a minute, like at the last minute, they're just like kind of like jamming anyway, so it's not like it's like a strong vocal centric piece anyway, which is kind of what shoegaze really kind of does sometimes, is where it's like it's actually kind of just about grooves and like just like wailing on stuff, just being noisy in general. So I mean, I'm into it. I don't know how you found this, but
I mean, I think that's why I wanted to watch the live version, because I feel like it kind of gives you a grasp of more of what the rest of their discography is like from the 2 or 3 that I've listened to, that it almost borderlines this like punk inspired psychedelic surfer band thing kind of mixture going on, where there's like reverbs and different kind of effects going on. I forgot to say that there was a synth in the band too, which is really nice. So you have all these like really beautifully layered tones that never really, and when you watch the band and even the drummer's playing, like she is playing at a volume. She's not just like kind of tapping it real slow with like some brushes or something like that. She's actually playing. So they really do have a good understanding of exactly how they want their music to flow and how to work together. And it's also, I mean, for a live performance inside of a studio, it's mixed extremely well. All
right, Tyler, you're up.
My first choice, which I feel like we should start off with our strong one. Feel out the real ballpark Hope Rudd winner. This will come as a surprise to no one, but I think Gorillaz' Humility, is my favorite song of the summer. I listened to it on my way to work several days, several weeks in a row, sometimes on repeat. I just can't stop listening to it.
I need you in the picture, that's why I'm calling you. I'm lonely twin, the left hand. Present myself and get back on track. I don't want this isolation.
Yeah, we've all listened to this song before, as a matter of fact, not that long ago. I mean, this song is just sort of dreamy, poppy, surfy, wavy. The music video is great. It's a good animation. It reminded me that Jack Black's a person, and I was like, you know what? Maybe we were deservedly harsh on Jack Black, but I think I can watch School of Rock now that we aren't like being forced, like Guitar Hero isn't being forced down our throats anymore.
Yeah, this song has held up surprisingly well. When it first came out, I was a little worried that it was going to be too syrupy sweet and I was going to get sick of it. But I don't know, like, it came up on shuffle the other day when I was in the car and I enjoyed it then, and listening to it now for the show, I've enjoyed it as well. I think it's a fun Gorillaz song. It's not, I don't know, I mean, it's not a feel-good ink, like, it's not going to take over the world or anything, but it's a fun track.
No, I think you're right. And I like that it's done in LA and it feels very summery and it's not that heavy. It's just like a good uplifting song to listen to get yourself ready for your day. So I like that you listen to this going to work because you're customer facing. So you definitely need this kind of uplifting boost.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I definitely need it. Like for me, I can put on a face, but like sometimes, like I have to really like go into like a cocoon, a shell, like after I'm like, I do it for too long. So it's like, I kind of have to amp myself up. I have to be like, all right, like when I'm on my break, I'm like, let's go, let's listen to some jams. This is like in a stark contrast between like, sometimes like this summer I kind of got in like Arch Enemy for like a minute. So I like listened to that like nonstop for like a few weeks. So my summer has kind of been very like soft and hard, not a lot of gray.
So my first pick, this song, I think this song came up on a playlist for me at one point and I kind of like heard it and liked it. But then my roommate actually was like, dude, you got to listen to this album. It's fantastic. And it has just been playing nonstop in our household all summer. This track is called Fever Pitch. It's by a band called Rainbow Kitten Surprise. And I am totally in love with it. The music video is amazing too.
Spend my summer riding high on the whiplash, head back, blowing through the leaves, growing up a preacher was all you ever dreamed.
Damn. This song is a sleeper, man.
I know, right?
I feel the fever grip when I needed it closer. I'm at the fever pitch, not quite but nearing it. Can't feel the fever yet, I'm saving up my daily measurement.
If anything, it kind of ended a little too early.
That's the thing I love about this song. It's so good, but it's so short. So, Rainbow Kitten Surprise is a really interesting band. They're an alt-rock band with some really intense, like, country and bluegrass and also hip-hop influences. And almost all of their songs sound like they could be in an old mid-2000s iPod commercial. Like, they have really intense bass-driven grooves with this almost Manchester Orchestra-esque, like, quasi-falsetto vocal. And the vocal harmonies are fantastic. But the thing about this song, Fever Pitch, that really gets me is, like Sean was saying when we were listening to it, it starts off really slow and just beautiful vocals. And then the bass comes in and you're like, okay, this has some groove. And then he starts like rapping and you're like, what is going on? Like, this song is just so out of left field and it's constantly stuck in my head. Their song Hide is also really good, but that music video is 6 minutes long because it's like a mini documentary about drag queens. Really fantastic, but this is the one that stays with me. So I gotta go with Fever Pitch.
Generally, I would say this song isn't doing, like, it's not necessarily pushing a boundary. I mean, it is. It has some rapping in it, you know, but I would say what this does, it innovates. It's sort of like a fresh take on, like, the classic sort of, like, alt-rock sort of, like, this is kind of like the after the dust is settled from, like, the folk revival, you know, like, this is sort of like what came out of that afterwards, probably. Like, finally people were like, hey, let's try this sort of, let's make guitars cool again, you know, like.
It's like, we see you, Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros, but we'd rather not.
Right. So it feels like it takes a template that, you know, a standard, and I think it does something interesting with it, and I think it does something that makes it just feel special. It feels like it's the right combination of things that say this genre is worth, like, kind of bringing back up into, like, kind of like the conversation, the dialogue of music in the current era, right? I don't know. It just works. I don't know. I said a lot of big ideas. I'm sorry.
I think this is really interesting because, after 1998, and with an incredibly short span between the years of 2002 and 2003, my appreciation of country music has fallen off very quickly, to the point where listening to any different variation, like rap country, runtry, or country hip-hop, which I'm not going to try and put together because nothing really works out in my mind, is trash. And it's a utter cash grab that is lowest common denominator. But with a notable exception of making guitars sexy again, there are true geniuses out there who aren't just, you know, putting Mentos in Diet Coke and shooting it at their friends, that are legitimately making some kind of homebrew concoction out of thin air that is genuinely amazing across the board. And Rainbow Kitten Surprise is that concoction. It's not Uncle Jim's snake oil. It's Coca-Cola.
That was a really roundabout way of saying that you like this band.
And it's amazing. I love this band, man. I'm going to be checking them out. And I just, like, when I first listened to them, I'm thinking, what is this? Like, what am I going to listen to? And I don't know if you'll keep that part in where I said, I honestly thought this was too short. They probably had another, like, 30 seconds of producing it, but that's fine with that. Leave me wanting more. I'm a man who loves the withhold. I'm like, you can't be too close to me because I will push you away, but if I can't have you, then I want you all the time. And you're playing into that, and it hurts me, but I love it.
Yeah, this song, it gets me. I've let it simmer all summer, and I need it, man. All right, we're back around to Sean. Sean, what's your number 2 pick?
My number 2 pick, it's kind of an oldie, but it's really like a perfect summer song, and it goes along this. I'm really in a kind of a neo psychedelic rut right now. Like I get in the end of summer, I'm like shifting into Tame Impala mode, and I'm like, yeah, let's wrap this up, get into some nice cool vibes in the hot part of the year. So I have Mac DeMarco, Salad Days. You guys heard this song? Sometimes when you just need a good little jammy song that's reminds you of that 90s soft rock that you grew up on, just turn on some Mac and you're like, take me away, buddy. Just put on some guitar, sing to me about salad days.
What is a salad day?
Salad days was a term that was come up in the 90s for a good economy. It's like slang for like money.
Dough
lots
stacks,
of money. Salad.
paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this song, it's probably a year old, maybe 2 years. I don't really remember, but it does have a really summery vibe, and every time I hear it, it reminds me of the summer. When I first heard this song, I really hated his like wavy falsetto on the choruses, but with some time, I actually kind of enjoy it, and it's cool to see that he can replicate that live. I don't know. I mean, Mac DeMarco is not really my thing. It always feels a little too stoner rock for me. But this song in particular, it's a good song. It's well written.
I have trouble. Is this exactly what this sounds like in like the studio recording? Like, does he generally kind of sound like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sick. I'm into it. I've never heard this artist before. I mean, it's the same. I mean, it feels very similar to the previous song in that it's kind of got the not in the same way, but it's let's see. Words are hard.
Words are hard.
Words are hard.
It's pulling from the same well of influences.
Yeah, some of them. They share some common ancestry, and it's good. It just doesn't have like a 15-minute like. You can go ahead, throw that on your soundboard.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fine song.
I'm fine with you not like really being into this because it is. I think that there are people out there that almost find Mac DeMarco's music like borderline offensive because it is like it's almost out of tune sometimes.
Yeah, he uses a lot of weird guitar tunings and weird keys and things.
Yeah, and it's I think that's why I like it a little bit because it's not perfect. It's not so produced. Even in the recording, and the fact that he can go out and make it sound good live is cool. It's definitely something that's a break from the other more metally things that I listen to that are like so track tempoed. Just because it's difficult to record that kind of stuff. So yeah, but it's fun in the summer. I don't listen to Mac DeMarco in the winter though. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, very much a summer artist.
Right.
That's right. The first fall leaf falls, it hits the pavement, and the sound of Fleet Foxes comes on. It's time.
But we're not there yet. So Tyler, what's your second pick?
Okay, so this is a song that it's from an album that I don't even begin to know how I saw it. I just saw someone retweeted this album on Twitter, and I was like, let's check this out. And so like the album's good, but this track in particular just spoke to me. And it's from an artist named City Girl, and the song is Mist Beneath Your Apartment, and it's sort of it's an instrumental track. And so it's just sort of has just some good, interesting instrumentation.
It sounds like trip hop.
Yeah.
Tight.
Do you listen to trip hop?
I don't listen to as much as I should. I do like lo-fi chill hip-hop beats that are good to study to.
But lo-fi chill is not trip hop.
Trill. I mean, like I feel like I have a lot of various like playlists I've saved that have like just various sort of like I just have like beat playlists that I have saved on Spotify, which probably border on trip in some way.
Right. I could see this going down really well in a coffee shop, though. Like, nice upbeat, but generally inoffensive.
Mm-hmm. This is the kind of music I listen to when I work. It's interesting, though. I don't know, Tyler, did you want to give some commentary, or do you want me to just dive right in?
I don't really know that much about it, honestly. It's just an album I found, and I really liked it.
The thing that really interested me about this is, like, when you listen to this kind of music, like this trip hop or city pop, like all of this kind of like electronica adjacent but chilled out stuff, like similar to like lounge and down tempo as well. It seems like right now it's all following kind of the dubstep song structure of intro section, beat drop, and then the real track kicks off. This song follows that structure, but the beat drop is kind of inverted in a way. Like, when the beat drops, it doesn't, like, hit you like a ton of bricks like you would expect it to, and, like, you get the loud snares and everything. Instead, the drums mostly go away, other than the bass, which I think is an interesting twist on that trope. Like, there was a lot of thought put into this track, and you can tell just from the first second, like, the way the strings pan across from the right ear to the left. Like, there's been a lot of real production put into this, which is admirable, because I feel like a lot of music in this style right now is just like people on Bandcamp throwing beats together and not really thinking about it.
Oh, right.
So, yeah, I mean, this is fun. I will probably add this album to my work playlist.
The album, okay, so I've switched from the song and started listening to the album, and I definitely want to listen to this in my car, because I feel like it does have a nice panning, like, flanger effect that's going on with it, and it also is nice because I don't know, my headphones, personal philosophy here, I feel like it is easier to listen to some of this stuff in your car, because you can listen to it louder and you have more speakers, and I feel like with some of this music, like in here you have kind of, in the album part, I'm at like 8.5 minutes in, there's like a nice kind of like vinyl, like a vinyl whisper going on right now that's really cool, which is really exaggerated by listening to it at a higher volume. I feel like if you're listening to it low right now so I don't get feedback into my monitor or into my microphone, I'm not catching all of it. But yeah.
That's interesting that you guys picked up on that, because that's something that I honestly didn't really notice until you said something about it. But you're right, it does seem like there's a lot of care put in place to make it like an audio experience. I think the person is traditionally trained in like guitar, so it seems like they're not just like some person that's just like like on GarageBand, like they're probably crafting this like very carefully.
Yeah, I wanted to comment on that, because when you put a link to the album, and we'll put that in the show notes as well, the first few seconds of the album, there's some real live guitar, which is interesting. Like, it's a cool thing to hear in this style of music, because you're right, it's usually just GarageBand synths. And so to hear some live instrumentation on this is really cool. I would love to see somebody play in this genre with live drums. I think that could be really fun.
Ooh, oh god, that's what I fucking live for, right? Like, I need the worst part is that like every week, like there's like a small jazz like thing that happens at the coffee shop below Catherine's house, and I'm like, I should just sit there. However, unfortunately, like 8 or 9 p.m. on a weekday is usually not my prime time for sipping on coffee, so...
Yeah, that's fair. So, my second pick, I really labored over this one, but I had to go again with a song that's been stuck in my head. Not necessarily like one of my absolute favorite song of the summer, but it's been in my head all summer, and it's called Playinwitme by Kyle, featuring Kehlani, I think is how you say that.
Girl, why are you playing with me? I don't got no time for that. Might need me a refund. I'ma need that time back.
Damn, why are you playing with me? You don't even like girls, huh? So I need you to tell me, baby, what you want, just like the Spice Girls. It's confusing cause you flirty, but you ain't gonna be the one to say you ever did me dirty. I got pride for that, pay no mind to that, but believe me, if it's fire, I'll make time for that.
It's funny. feel like this really has that, I don't want to say like Atlanta vibe, but it has that like that South vibe, you know, like when you listen, I play like Big Boy All Night, and it has that piano, and it's just like kind of a little bit upbeat, you know, but still kind of slow. Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah, it's that Southern hip hop vibe. It's piano with trap drums and a nice sung hook.
Right.
It feels like the South in the summertime. Like, this is like riding your bike music, or like sitting outside sipping a beer music. I love Kehlani on this track. I think her vocal is fantastic. The last time through the hook where she and Kyle are harmonizing is really awesome. It's a fun, simple song. It has piano, bass, drums, and then a rapper in it, and a singer-rapper, and that's it. Like, there's not a whole lot to it. It's kind of dumb, but it's fun.
I mean, I'm in. I mean, as someone that at one point listened to a Post Malone song and enjoyed it.
Just one, though.
You know, like I can appreciate one of these kind of tunes. Yeah, it really feels like the pianos like really kind of driving that mood. It's doing a lot of heavy lifting, because it's really kind of giving you like the vibe, and then like I don't know, it's like let's see, I don't know what I'm saying.
No, you're right. The piano is really like what sticks in my head of this track. That simple little piano loop. It gets in my head, and I'll be like driving down the road, and I'm like, you know what? I need to listen to that Kyle song again. Like, I just need that piano in my head, like, constantly.
I only listen to rap for the beats.
That's not true. Like, the flows on this are good too, but the beat is really where it's at.
I feel like did you link this song to us, like, when I figured out about the playlist functionality on Facebook Messenger? Is that the song that you... Okay.
I think I did, yeah.
Because I think I was into it then. I was like, this is tight, I like this.
Alright, so since there are only 3 of us this year, I guess we'll do a third song. And, you know, we've all had some pretty good picks, so I don't feel like we need to choose, like, a definite winner, but we'll do one more round starting with Sean, and then that'll give us a solid 9-song playlist. So, Sean, what do you have for us?
Okay, so this is MGMT's new summer song. You kind of if you watch the video, you got to kind of get far into it, but it's called Me and Michael. And at first, when I listened to this, I hated it. I was like, this is awful. But then, like, 2 hours later, I was sitting at work, and I was like, me and Michael, nothing. And then it was it. It was over. It was over for me. Ever since then, I was like, this is the greatest. This is the greatest song. Me and
Sean, I'm so glad you picked this song so I didn't have to. MGMT's Little Dark Age is in the running for my favorite album of this year. It's so fun. Like, it's such a great, like, send up to 80s new wave. And this song in particular, it, like, feels like it dropped out of 1987 into 2018. I've had it stuck in my head, like, all year long. I am absolutely in love with this song. It's got that great synth bass to it, and the chorus is so simple but so catchy. Ugh, I love it.
Tyler, I think what you said before is you just get used to... I think of MGMT as kids, as their songs that continue to just get radio play left and right. And I feel like they're kind of stuck in this, I don't know.
It was a very...
How do I say this?
Pop-centric, very focused, very tight album that had good,
right.
like genre, like almost crafting, like sounds. And so it's like, when you already make like some of the greatest songs of a decade and then be like, let's follow that up? You can't. You just can't.
I think you can. You just have to. They had a couple albums that weren't that good, and then they came out with this, which was a huge departure. And that's what they needed, because everything on this album sounds fresh and inventive and new, but they had to go through a couple of albums of kind of trash to get here.
And I think that actually this will fit well within their discography. I was watching a reverb video on the guitar effects that Tame Impala uses throughout their discography. And when I first listened to their latest album, which, oh my God, it's like 3 years ago now, I thought it was like this 80s themed psychedelic thing that was it was like a real departure from the Beatles-esque 2 previous albums. And I was like, yes, it really doesn't work that well, blah, 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 blah. But 3 years later, I can listen to them interchangeably and really like it and really see the progression of Kevin's writing style over time. And I feel like this will help MGMT in the long run. You'll be able to see that they can do something more than just like club busters, you know? Not that other songs are bad, because they're not. They're just need something a little different sometimes, I feel like. Show your chops.
Tyler, what's your third pick?
Cool. Well, since we're allowed to go off the rails,
That's not true.
pick anything. I'm going to. Cool. So we're gonna throw it straight into the dumpster. Let's go. All right. So this was a song that was featured on r/City Pop, which this song actually got taken down because apparently it sounded too close to like a very popular like city pop album, like a very specific like song by a particular artist is like called Plastic Love. But I thought the music video was fun, you know, and it's like kind of like a K-pop song, so it's kind of like different influences, kind of reinterpreting this kind of genre. And this is sort of is all the kind of things I've kind of been listening to like over the summer, but just kind of packed into like one specific song, just to kind of like condense it.
You know what? This almost sounds like Beck.
There's some Beck in here. There's some like 80s kind of synth pop, almost new romantics, like poppy new wave to this. It makes me think that Tyler needs to go back and listen to music from the 80s.
That's right.
No, this is actually really great. I really like this. I feel like round 3 here is our retro round, where all of us are picking retro stuff, because I'm going to do a very similar thing. But yeah, I like this. This beat is super catchy.
Yeah.
I don't usually like K-pop and J-pop for whatever reason, but I can get behind this.
I think the package is it just feels fun, and so you're like, I don't know what they're saying, but it doesn't matter. You can kind of sense what they're, you know, the kind of the vibes, and the music video helps too.
Oh yeah, for
it's
sure.
Just sort of like,
it's a beautiful video.
Like the entire genre is just kind of about city life and just kind of living in big cities and stuff like that, and just kind of being, you know. So it makes sense.
Oh no, I think I kind of said what I needed to say about Beck and whatnot. I like it. Go home, check out your local YouTube trip hop playlist, and just rock that out, because you're gonna love it.
So I have the last pick of the night, pick 3 of round 3, and I really struggled with this one because this album has been like on repeat for me all summer as well, kind of like that Rainbow Kitten surprise album, and a lot of it is really good. So I feel like I just had to pick like the title track single, because it really kind of distills what the album is about. This is Wide Awake by Parquet Courts.
Oh, goodness. I love the Talking Heads.
Yeah, so Tyler made the comment while we were listening to this that he loves Talking Heads, and I feel like that's why I've been in love with this Parquet Courts album all summer. It sounds like CBGB in like 1978. Like, parts of it are very Talking Heads, parts of it are very like Television. There's some Ramones influence. It just sounds like a revival of that early art punk sound. The album skips around genre-wise, but it all has this same aesthetic, this kind of retro vibe to it. And there's a lot of like gang vocals and yelling, and it's fun. Everything about this album is fun while having like an aggression to it and some political undertones for the most of the tracks. Wide Awake is a very simple song about basically nothing, but it's a really cool album, probably my favorite rock album of the year, so definitely worth a listen. And if nothing else, this song is Ellen DeGeneres approved. They came on her show and played this, and she danced to it, and it was really fun, so...
There you go. Well, if that doesn't say anything. I mean, I'm in. It doesn't take much, but this is pretty tight. I feel like when I compare something to something else, like when I say this, I love Talking Heads, that usually means I probably like it, if I even tangentially like the band I'm referencing. So I'll give this album a listen. I feel like I've got a lot of fodder for stuff to listen to now.
I think one of the things... Okay, so I don't want to crap on this song, but one thing that is kind of annoying to me about Parquet Courts, I just wanted to confirm this so that I wasn't just making it up, is that vocally, it seems to lack dynamics. Which is annoying to me.
See, I love that. I love that it's yelling or nothing.
And I wish there was something like I like the intensity. Don't get me wrong. It's nothing against the intensity, but you can still have intensity with dynamic. But it's not bad. It's not like I'm sitting here like, I'll never listen to this crap. I think there needs to be something a little bit more.
No, that's fair. It's definitely not for everyone.
Is that kind of this problem with... Is this kind of like a Franz Ferdinand kind of thing, where it's like... I feel like they're also kind of like a band that's very like...
Yeah.
Like, it's like a cliff. There's no like... This or this. There's no like...
Right. I mean, what is it? The whole vocal dynamic on Taking Me Out has to do with the vocal filter. Like, more so than it does with any kind of...
Performative aspect, yeah.
Dynamic whatsoever. Right.
But I think
But still, wonderful song, great band.
I like that, though, because it reminds me of, like, Dee Dee Ramone, right? Like, dude had no dynamics. Like, he just kind of did his thing. I think I like that simplicity.
Yeah, I definitely think that's, like, a type of vocal performance that it's a really love or to hate it kind of thing. Like, I feel like there's no, like, it's either you can appreciate that this person sounds pretty much the same from the start of the song to the end of the song, and it's like, whoop, or you need, like, those dynamics to really make a difference. I don't know.
Well, this was fun. There will be links to all of the songs we talked about tonight in the show notes. And probably Apple Music and Spotify playlists of all of the songs as well if we get our act together. So I want to thank the panel for joining me as we go into our round of shameless plugs. We'll start with Tyler Reed. Tyler, where can the people find you and your work?
Hello, everyone. You can find my design and illustration work at tylerdreed.com, and you can find me on Instagram as TRDesign and on Twitter as Sneezy Panda.
I'm so glad you have your old handle back.
I just have to slay them for the Instagram. That's the only thing I have left.
Sean Evans, if people want to get music recommendations from you, where can they do that?
You can find me on Twitter at RealCashOtter.
Have you come back around? Are you appreciating your Twitter handle again?
No, not really.
You should just go back to 7s, 8, 9, 10.
No, but I don't want that. Everyone on here has such... Well, besides you, everyone on here has really cool Twitter handles, and, like, Tyler's got a story, Janet's is just awesome, and, like, mine is just...
Your name is Real Cash Otter. I don't know what's wrong with you. You have a brand.
What that brand is, we're not quite sure. But you can follow me on the socials as at TC Olmstead. You can like and follow the show at Dudes Brunch. If you like what we do here, you can leave a review on iTunes or recommend us on your podcast app of choice. Other than that, thanks everybody for listening, and we'll talk to you next time on another episode of Dudes Brunch.
In a world where Taylor Olmstead sips on a quiet beer.
Are you having a love affair with this beer, Taylor?
I am having a love affair with this beer.